What's going on? I'll give it like a minute or two for folks to join, but lots to go over. Let me pause that. If anyone took those Intel calls with me, the 110Cs, they're almost in the money. Maybe I bottom ticked them at 230 there, but pretty close to the bottom and kind of worked out here. I'm going to sell most of these at open just because I don't want the overnight risk, and I don't know what's going to happen. These are going to open up like 100% plus, and then I'll leave a couple of runners if I can. I took some Tesla calls as well for Friday, the 410 calls. They're going to be green. I'm going to hold on to probably all of them at this point in time, but I do like the risk and reward on adding to the weeklies if we get like this cup and handle complete, right? So cup, handle, and kind of go up from there. So I'm liking those. I took some Figma calls as well with Sean. I think he posted them in the insurance channel. I'm pretty sure those are dead, but whatever. And then one chart I do really like, not USO, sorry, Meta. I think this is gonna go, but I want to see if it closes above this displacement at 650.7758 area. So let's see where that goes. Yeah, it's a pure lotto, but whatever. We'll see if it comes back. And I was looking at the USO chart. It could go higher, don't get me wrong, but I'm also seeing this head and shoulder form. So I think what's going to happen is likely it'll do this, tap out again around 118, 119, and then kind of come back down if my read is right. So the chart right now is telling me that this wants to roll over. That to me seems pretty bullish, where I do think that there's going to be a deal that happens either today or tomorrow. That's the way that this chart is reading, but I could be wrong. So Tesla, Intel, if anyone's doing those calls with me, they're going to be green at open. Please just take the win. You don't want to do the overnight risk, but I like the risk and reward on Meta, or Meta and on Tesla. So I'll kind of keep that ball rolling there on those two. Meta, I like the 660 calls. I think this area needs to be tested before you kind of reject back down, and that'll complete this head and shoulder. So I like the risk and reward, and if we can squeeze above this, it'll probably go to 672 by the end of the week, if not tomorrow, to be honest. Now, there might be an execution issue here where if I don't get the roll that I need, like the close towards 650.61, then I'll kick those calls out and kind of take the L on those, or maybe I'll get some puts towards 623 is kind of the target that I have for Meta. So upside, if it closes above 651, I'll get some calls. If it does not close above it, I'll get some puts towards 623 is kind of the target that I have there on Meta. So I like this chart and I like the risk and reward. Oil, we just went over. Crude futures, if I look at this, this just looks like it's going to roll over to me, but what do I know? So the chart is telling me that this is about to go down. And I do think that there's going to be some kind of a deal announcement sometime soon. And one of the other reasons I'm looking at that is because this is pretty much primarily calls. And 7,500 is the floor right now. And then they've been buying these 75, 25, 60s, 50s, and 35 for the last couple of days. And we'll see where they go. So a lot of dealer exposure upside, but it could go either way here at this point in time. And CPI came in better than expected as long as this area holds, which I think it will. They're just doing an undercut here. As long as this area holds, which is a displacement here at the 50%, you're likely to go to double tap and then kind of go up towards 753 as a target. They'll probably want to sweep this high at the very least and maybe fill this gap. So I like the risk and reward on calls. I just want to see if it holds here and then decide to go up. I did swing some SPX calls as well. The ones that I swung were the 7570s for 1180 for tomorrow. So I don't really have to do much today if I don't want to on SPX. But let's see if they do the bearish rapid open. If this area holds, we'll get some calls. If not, then you're likely kind of coming back towards 745 and maybe fill this gap. And if not, then you're coming back down towards 742 on SPY. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. That's really where my mind is. I think it's just going to do a double tap here and kind of go up. But if we do get that dump at open and this area holds, I'm just going to ape into calls because I think that's a better risk and reward at this point in time because everyone will be buying puts anyways. QQQ, similar story. You're still technically making a higher low. It's a lower high, don't get me wrong, but it's a higher low still compared to where we were a couple of days ago. And as long as this area holds on the 4 hour, you're likely to go test at least 728, maybe 730 here afterwards. QCOM, I don't know what to make of this. Let's go look at this daily. Well, it's holding this area. You got a couple inside bars there. As long as this area holds, I think it wants to run towards 226. That might take some time. If I go measure out how long it took to get from here to up there, you're looking at roughly 2 weeks. So if I just go measure this head from this to the top there, you got 39 days. So maybe it'll take more than 2 weeks. And then if I measure out the same move here, you'll likely go towards this area in about the same amount of time, 39, 40 days, whatever that might be. So give it some time. I do like how this is shaping up, but it might take some time to play out. Oklo, this looks pretty good to me. You came back into a discount zone. You're testing prior highs. I like how this indicator that I built kind of just automatically adapts to whatever the ticker is. As long as this area holds, you're likely going to bottom out here and go towards 94. Again, that might take like 6 months to play out. But I like the risk and reward on calls for this for 2027. Oracle, I think it's bidding down because of some issues with IBMs and some of these legacy companies. This is the first time I've seen them break below the support area. So I'm interested in shorting this and IBM. IBM, I was looking at this morning, and I think they have an issue here with one of their deliverables or how their accounts are set up. So let's see what happens here. But this does not look like it's going to hold here, to be honest. If I look at this on the pre-market, you're well below that premium area. So I think it's just going to keep dumping down, and we'll see where it wants to go afterwards. But if this area holds, it might bottom out. If it doesn't, you're likely to go down towards the next layer of liquidity, which is around 186, 190, which will test this prior high there. Citi earnings were great. So nicely done on those calls. I think they still stole it off though. Yeah, they did. And then JPM, I think I announced their earnings already. They've just sold all the financials at this point in time. So I like how this chart is shaping up, all the financials. I might just get some calls for like a week out from here because I think they'll just buy it back up. And knowing what I know about JP Morgan at the very least, they like to sell off their stock and buy back within the same week. So I'm liking the risk and reward on calls better. Plus, you've kind of bottomed out here in one regard and another. If it doesn't hold this area for whatever reason, then I think you'll probably get some pain. But I do like the risk and reward on calls towards 342 rather, for end of next week. So that's where that is. FIG, I already took some leaps on this. I might just add to them because I do think this chart is about to break out. If I look at this on the daily, you're seeing this like cup and handle form, right? Cup, handle, cup, and then kind of go up towards this high at the very least, 72 calls, or maybe even the 25, 30 calls for 2027, which I think already started anyways. SpaceX, I hope it kind of bids up today because I'm interested in shorting this. But I also can see a case where this area holds and kind of go up towards 158 before coming back down. So let's see if we can get this move up on SpaceX and then kind of come back down towards 135, 140, whatever that number is. I was hoping more what happened with Google, but again, this is closed below an area where I was interested in getting calls, so I have zero interest in getting calls. This might just go down towards 343 if this area doesn't hold for whatever reason. None of these charts on Google or even Apple look that promising to me. Apple is more of a flight to safety, but you're starting to roll over now. And you have had that classic double top. Got tested the previous highs, wasn't able to close above it, came back down. So I think this is going to be in a bit of pain here for Apple. PLTR, just my weekly Ross at this point in time. Inverse head and shoulder forming. Let's see if it holds above this. If it does, you'll likely go towards 151 in the next couple of days. So I like how those charts are shaping up. And then Nokia, I do have some calls for end of next week. I'm pretty sure they're dead, but it might come back here and make a nice W formation up towards 1460 is kind of the target that I got there. So let's see what happens. Industrials like AMAT, I really like, broke out of this trend. You're likely to go towards 680 here. So I might get some calls on this. And Micron is bidding up for whatever reason. I think they're rotating back into the semis and memory names. This is the first time I've seen it kind of close above this discount area. So let's see if it wants to go towards 1022 is kind of the target that I have for this week. If it gets there, great. If not, then whatever. And then if that's going to be catching bids, then I think DRAM's going to pump up. And this is such a weird chart. I've never seen something like this where like I just high, then low, then high, then it's just kind of all over the place, right? So I do think the 60 calls for DRAM are going to be pretty good, risk and reward, and 65 calls for the end of the week. Oh, DRAM 60C was hit for 821. Nice. If that's the case, then I might just take the same contract. I like it. And the other thing I can think of is SNDK. Let's see where this goes. I think this is just going to break out. And then SKHY, SK Hynix. This also kind of like just broke out of its downtrend there. So I think they're starting to rotate back into semis. If semis are catching bids, NVIDIA is going to catch bids, and same with AMD. And memory and storage, let's see if they want to continue going towards higher highs and higher lows. But the thesis that I had on AMD kind of played out at 500 you buy calls, at 570 you buy puts. Let's see if it breaks out towards that, but I have no interest in chasing calls on AMD here at all. Those are all the tickers that I had, at least on my watch. As I said, I'm going to sell most of my Intel calls. I'll hold the Tesla calls because I like the risk and reward, and USO looks like it's about to roll over here, which it's already starting to do that. And SPY, as long as we hold above 750.80, we're good to go. And that's exactly the same thesis playing out right now. Got the undercut, got a price rejection, 750.81. There's your displacement number. If it holds above this, you're likely to go towards 754, 755 at the minimum. So that's what I wrote down in my notes, and I think we're almost there. And as long as for SPY and SPX, I'll show you something interesting. George told me to get some 7520 calls and 7525 calls at 7:30, so well before the CPI print came out. They went from like $1,900 to $4,500 right before that CPI print came out. So as long as we hold 750, we're likely to go towards 7580, and then if not, we're diving down towards 7450 on SPX there. So let's see where that goes. We do have some downside building, but I don't know where that's going to end up. So let's just see how it opens out, and then we'll decide what to do. But what I'm going to do, to be frank, is just going to wait for George to tell me what to get, because he's been better at it than I am lately. Because yesterday he told us to full port the 7550 puts, and they went from $800 when he alerted to about $4,000 in the money. So that's really where my mind is. I'm just going to wait until he tells me what to kind of get, and then I'll just do that instead. And I've cleaned up some of his contradicting signals. You'll see sometimes they'll go calls and then puts right away. Even though these are scalpable, I just want to be better aligned to how fast money or big money is doing this. So yesterday he told us about 7530 puts and then 7550 puts, I think it was. Both of them expired in the money. So I really like this George system that we kind of got built out here. So I'd rather just wait until he tells us, hey, there's big institutions buying certain things. Even the calls worked out at some point in time. And then he did tell us at I think it was like 10 a.m. or something, 75, 50 puts, there it is. And those went up in the money. So I'd rather just wait on SPX, to be honest, because whenever I try to do things, it does work. It just takes a long time. And with George, his plays hit more often than not. So let's see where that goes. But as long as this area holds, I'm just going to get some SPY calls and wait for a signal from George on SPX instead, because he's just better than I am. And I'm going to fix something for one of our members. Give me a second. Comment. Done. And go back to paid chat. I do think Tesla's going to run today for whatever reason. I think that's going to go towards 405.82 pretty quickly. And I just want to see if Intel can get its shit together and close above 108, because I got 110 calls for the week, which will be green, don't be wrong, but I want them to be more green than where they are right now. And market opens in a minute. I just want to see what happens, and then we'll decide what to get. I do like the risk and reward on 752 calls if this area holds, which I think it will. Intel calls are up 100%. TC calls up 94% plus that here. Tesla calls up 30%. Okay, I sold most of my Intel calls. I got one runner. Here's your proof. There it is, 110%, take the win. Down do one runner out here on. And Tesla, I don't know what the hell that's doing, but I'm going to keep most of them anyways. And SPY, as long as that holds, I think calls are pretty safe. So I'm going to see what to get soon. Damn it, he's bearish on SPX. I'm just going to wait because I don't see the point in rushing into a trade. This divergence between SPX and SPY concerns me. That is bizarre. USO is holding, but I don't think it's going to close above 121.30. No shape, okay. He says sit out. I will sit out. Oh yeah, her chart does look good actually. I was looking at it yesterday. As long as this area holds, you're gonna get a nice cup and handle. It's not pretty by any means, but it is there. Cup, handle, kind of go up towards 120. Not a bad call entry to be honest, but not ideal either. Let them shake out retail in the first 15 minutes and then we'll decide what to do afterwards. Meanwhile, let me go see what the JPM calls look like for next week. 345s aren't bad. Oh, it's just gonna pump without it. This happens every single time. I swear to God. And yeah, I agree. City calls probably make a lot of sense for next week. The 145 calls at 178. Not bad. I think this is gonna pop, but I'm gonna give it a couple minutes here. Oh, meanwhile, let me go check. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's not gonna hold above that. Meta, what the hell's that doing? This might just go, honestly. $1,000, 670, 770, and one DTE 660 calls are, oh damn, they're expensive. But I do think you're gonna sweep 674. So 670 calls are not bad at $300. 680's got a lot of bids, weirdly enough. I'm gonna wait on those. Just watch a chart first. Watching position. Okay, they're buying something. Oh yeah, they're buying all calls. Tesla calls coming in, AMD, Micron, some puts there, but I think this is gonna go up. I'm like 90% certain. What the hell? 73, 60, 76, 35. What? Who's buying those? Calls coming in for a couple days out. 14th is today. Wait. Oh yeah, these are in the money. And then that is 10 days out. Okay. The algo flip bullish. I did. Look at that. I just hope we don't get another random tweet at like 10 a.m. like the last couple of days. I do like Tesla 4 or 5 calls for tomorrow. Let's see how much they're worth. $200 not bad, but for the same price, you can get weeklies for the 425 calls, or sorry, 410 calls for Friday. So I'd rather do that instead, which I already did. So I'm gonna wait on those. Why did you reject 108 Intel, you shitbag? Anyways. I'm gonna get like the 7054s. I'm just gonna like 5 of these, and if they work, they work. Actually, I'm gonna get 6 of these, sorry. At 48. And if they don't work, they don't work. What do I know? Because I think this is gonna flip up here, and that's gonna flip up here in the next 10 minutes. USO didn't hold above 121 as I thought. And now you're definitely going to get that head and shoulder, but let's see. Small size, 754C at 48 and 7550. I really don't like buying puts. I want to get these at 970 if I can. At 970 per con. Out here. SPY calls are up 20%, not bad. Can do more. And Tesla's about to rip up, I feel. Intel's about to rip up, I feel. And I suspect if that's going on, Google's going to be catching bids. There it is. And while that's going on, Apple should be dumping, almost. And while that's going on, Microsoft should be dumping because it's a shit stock. There it is. And while that's going on, I think NVIDIA is going to be pumping. Nope, not yet. Okay, so we got some work to do here. But calls are green by, there you go, 24%. If you want to take the win, you can. Watching position. I think this is going to rip up, but what do I know? Ideal BM calls are coming in. There you go. 500x baseline for August 7th. Weird. Magic. The only thing I'm concerned about right now is what IWM is doing. I'm gonna go to the 2-minute chart on this because it usually works well. If this flips for whatever reason, you're gonna get a same pump on SPY next in the next like 5. Looks like George is telling us to close calls because they're buying puts. Weird. I do not like that. Not a lot of volume though, so maybe it's okay. Calls are green by 30%. If I were you, I'd take the win. If I were you, I would take the win. If I were you, I'd take the win out here. And again, I'm not trying to bag you. I just want to make sure you guys go away with green. Come on, IWM, flip it. Flip it. Ah, fuck. And back down to break even. I knew this would happen. I think it'll flip. I'm pretty confident it does, but what concerns me right now is this put buying. Puts just rocketed, eh? Yeah, I could see that. What the heck is going on here? Something's amiss. Someone's lying. I just don't know who. VIX seems like it's telling the truth. Are the indices and ETFs lying? Who knows? There's the move on IWM. I'm just gonna have to watch, unfortunately. Watching position. Wow, the VIX just imploded. It's far out. It's a year and a bit from now. NVIDIA puts, you're buying at the bottom. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, great. They sold their puts and now buying calls. Fucking hell. Yeah. Oh, so boring. Nothing's happening right now. It's like an orb. I think it's going to flip, though. I think it's going to flip. Oh, war speaks at 10? Oh, well, what are we doing then? We just set out. Watching position. Calls are still green. If you want to take the win, take the win. think it's going to pop, but if Warsh is on a 10, then it might not. Not a lot of volume. Seems like they sold these calls and bought the 751s instead. Watching position. Damn you, Tesla. I don't like that rejection. I don't like this rejection at all. And they're going to dunk it, aren't they? Okay, well. Watching position. Yeah, you're watching position. I know. Oh, see, the meta calls are coming in. And there it goes. Should have spocked the meta open when I had a chance. Oh well. They're buying the 75-45 call. It's weird. What do they know that I don't? What do they know that I don't? Why do I like calls here so much? Why? Sometimes when I look at a chart, I can't tell why. Like, it's in the back of my brain. I just can't articulate why I like it that much for what it's worth. The way that this chart is reading to me is like, as long as this area holds, which I think it will, you do an undercut, double tap, and then go up towards this high and this gap fill. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Watching that's position. Probably the reason I like call so much is because they're going to buy this up, aren't they? Although if we have an event at 10, then whatever I think about is going to go out the window because they can send it whichever way they want. Just look at the VIX real quick. I only watch this like twice a day, and I think this is just going to dump. I like this move on NVIDIA, though. I think calls are going to work here pretty soon. I mean, they are already. The thing I really don't like right now is that IWM rejection. And we got both calls and puts here, so I'm just going to watch and see what happens. Oh, fuck, they're buying NDX puts. Shit. They're buying the 29, the 300 puts for the 15th. Huh, weird, one day out. What's USO doing then? Making a lower high and lower... Watching position. A lower high at least. think it's about to flip up. If we chop for 6 hours, I'm just going to freak out and not do anything. I need a good apex sprint for me to like full port. Honestly, I think we're just going to wait till 10 and do something then. As long as this area holds, I think calls are safe. TLT, what? Watching position. Oracle calls. What the fudge? Oh, they're for next year, though. Maybe not worth it. I'll watch like 10:05 and then I'll cut the stream because I'm not seeing any movement here. Oh shit, I might just go. Put buying, put selling, call buying. Okay. Okay, buddy George, what are we going to do now? I don't know if I'm looking at the wrong contracts or if these premiums really are this expensive, because this is insane. Maybe it's a VIX. I don't know. I like that it's dumping before the 10 a.m. news, whatever that is. I quite like that. It makes me bullish. Weird. Weird. That's gonna go. Why is George telling me to get Microsoft calls? What does he see? Oh, that's what he sees. Okay. Bizarre. Oh, yeah, they rejected VWAP. I get it. I do think it's going to fly up, but I don't know. I'm going to go either way here. There's one idiot buying 48K worth of QQQ calls. That's cool. Yeah, I think Tesla will go here as well. I'm going to look at IWM real quick. What the hell is this doing? Did Palantir pump up like crazy? Probably, right? Yeah, there it is. That's a pretty good move on Microsoft, honestly. I'll give you credit, George. I will give you credit. I like this base on IWM, though. I really like this. I think it's going to go up. Yeah, Oracle calls are coming in, so I think there's something going on here. And I was thinking it looks dumpy as well, but I don't know. We're stuck in we're stuck in orb right now. The only thing that's giving me confidence for calls are these people that are buying the 75, 35s and 45s here. RDT, Reddit. What are you gonna get? Yeah, it does look good. These premiums are moving all over the place. Something's going on. I just can't tell what. All right, no movement. I'll see you all in a bit. I'm going to hold the calls anyways. And then if we close below this for whatever reason, I'm going to kick them out and get some puts instead. But I think it'll hold. So I'll see you all